got nothing.
Let's do it that way.
No, the other way.
That way.
That's it.
The mad thing is, if Bill and I were to put these two things together, we would unleash the apocalypse.
Oh, yes. So you're not allowed to.
Keep away.
Yeah. They're called halteres. They're Greek.
Okay.
And they gave you an extra 6.5 inches advantage at a sporting event.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Punching with rocks.
6.5 inches.
Hurling with the other hand and that weight gives you more of a spin.
That's a thought, but it's
Discus.
certainly an event in which you are judged by the greatest distance you have covered.
Or the long jump.
Long jumping. You use these.
You just fling
You'd think
your
they'd hold.
arms out.
At first, when people found them, they thought they might be used as a handicap system for people who were better at long jumping. They would hold them back and weigh them down. But actually, you wind it up, you wind it up, you wind it up, and then you jump, and it gives you an extra 6.5 inches advantage. And also, you look like that. You can see them depicted there, just a pair of them hanging on the plate.
Is there some sort of checking system in the Olympics to check that people aren't, you know, giving themselves an extra advantage?
Well, nowadays, of
people
course, you would certainly not be allowed to do that. You would not be allowed to use
metal implants in their knuckles.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you get, nipples, and then, you know, the piercings,
Yeah.
big magnet at the other end. Turn it on! And you go and knock us first across the line.
What's so the hammer then? What's all the? I don't understand.
That's Celtic. Putting the shot was a Celtic one, but the original Greek ones were the discus and the javelin and standing long jumps. Standing long jumps existed until 1912 in the Olympics. In other words, you didn't run up, you just went, yeah. And the record, bizarrely, it is pure coincidence, but the record for the standing long jump is 12 feet 2 inches.
No way.
And it so happens that the distance between there and there is exactly 12 feet 2 inches.
And I'm going to do it for you now.
The world record standing long jump is exactly that distance.
Was it set by that man with the flat cap and the cigarette on the right?
No, he was furious. He's furious that this bloke was doing it because the other bloke copyrighted the idea.
Yeah, exactly. Have you heard of Fjärleppen?
Lippen. It sounds
It
Scandinavian.
exists in East Anglia and in Frisia, mostly in Holland, though.
Or jumping the
canals.
dikes. Yeah.
Jumping the dikes using a pole. And it's a big sport, and we do it in Norfolk, where I come from.
You know they've got bridges now.
Yeah.
So much less fun. And you can actually see some... No, mock ye not. Watch some film of some splendid Fjärleppen performers, and you will be impressed. Here you are. Big run. Whoa, and... Yes!
Oh.
And didn't even fall over.
Oh, look at that.
Less fortunate. Yeah. Just to prove it's not as easy as you think. And... Oh! There you are. Fjärleppen. Wow! That's a good one. Yep. Isn't that? You can watch that forever.
Yeah, they should do that, like, instead of just straightforward pole dancing, they should just have, like, a loose brass pole, and then a woman in her pants runs out, hey! And then it's less sexual, you know, you can watch it arcing.
I think it is sexual.
You're
I
in
think,
desperate need of help, Ross. Now, you have some jump leads and some bits of old phone. Show me how to telephone a catfish.
Oh.
Jump leads and bits of phone, all right?
Phone.
I want you
Actually, your
to
phone.
show me...
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry.
using these implements...
That's real.
How you would...
Oh, sorry,
Telephone.
we thought you said foam.
No.
We were looking for a sponge.
What's we got to do?
Using these items, you should be able to telephone a catfish.
This is like Blue Peter, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Oi, catfish!
What you have to do...
Power of bidder!
You have to telephone catfish.
Hello, 118, 118. Could I have the number of a catfish, please? Thank you.
You're in America.
Yep.
Catfish, there you can see one behind you. Highly popular dish. all over the southern states of Louisiana and places like that. There's a way of catching catfish using a telephone.
OK.
Yep.
I'm just going to chuck something out here.
Thrown at me.
I'll throw it up to see what the group thinks. There's a small electric current that passes through a phone line.
Yeah.
So you isolate...
It passes here, here, here and here.
Yes, the current passes here, here and here.
So point A, B, listen carefully, we'll say this only once.
I'll say this only once. And then you place the, these are called the powerful bulldog clips, upon the two terminals here and here.
Thus electrocuting.
I think you've connected the same wire to itself.
Yes, there's a few teething problems, obviously. Now, there we are, there we have a current.
There's
so
the copper bit there, that must be doing something.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you place these in the water,
yes,
near the catfish, and then you dial, I don't know, 1-800 catfish, and causes a small current to pass through the water, stunning the catfish, which floats the service.
Yeah, absolutely right. It was in the early days of telephones, actually, to be honest, when they used these magnetos. It was the old dial-a-phone thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you would take that from your phone, the old wind-up phone. You crank the handle, the fish would be stunned by the electrical current, and you would simply scoop them up and take them home.
So it's not specific to catfish?
Well, it was used for catfish, and it was so successful that it became essentially illegal because it overfished the catfish population.
I've seen someone doing that in Thailand with a car battery. Slung over his shoulder on a strap.
I know, they do it.
And a pole, and just wading up to his knees and just zapping.
And as you'll know, Bill, in Indonesia, they use cyanide and dynamite to fish.
On the tourists.
In Georgia, in 1955, you could get 30 days on a chain gang for telephoning a fish. It was called literally telephoning the fish. There's an academic study called Telephoning Fish, an examination of the creative deviance used by wildlife violators in the United States.
Oh.
So it was that big of a problem.
You could probably smash a rabbit's head in with that as well.
Yeah, you could do.
There's a lot of wildlife that could meet a terrible end from this stuff. You know, round a panther, you know.
There was another thing they used to do, which is a way of poaching deer, is that in the evenings, the deer would mingle with cattle.
Socially?
Socially, yeah. And you would crawl up behind a cow with a pistol and you'd shoot the deer. But the problem is you're in the middle of a field and you're miles from home. So what you would then do is you would get an air pump and you would place it up the rectum of the deer and you would pump it full of air and you'd put it on the river and it would float downstream to your partner, who would then place it on the boat. It was a way of transporting poached deer by pumping them up.
By pumping them with air up the
Jackson.
I thought they were standing behind the cow to shoot the deer so that the other deer would think the cow did it.
Exactly. But actually, it goes further back than that. Native Americans used walnuts and buckeye leaves to grind and drop in the water, which would instantly deoxygenate the water downstream. The fish would come straight to the surface.
Cunning.
Which is very, very clever. There are ways of catching fish that are sort of unfair.
It's very easy. I've caught mackerel with nothing that resembles a lure of fish.
A simple shopping trolley.
Well, by singing?
Just by
singing.
They're so stupid.
Yep.
They really are. Anything. You could just lower a piece of paper with hook written on it, and they would...
Poor mackerel.
Swim to the shore, fling yourself onto the beach. OK.
So it's time to put away our telephones and our objects, if we can. All right, OK. So much for telephoning fish. How about jumping camels?
What?
Jumping camels.
Jumping camels?
Yeah.
What do you mean, just, you know, without any kind of a chit-chat before? Just,
Jump the beast.
Just straight in...
In the Yemen.
In the desert as well.
In the Yemen.
I don't believe that camel can jump. I never lift itself off the ground.
It's not the camels that are jumping.
Do you jump from one camel to another?
It's more than that. Think Eddie Kidd.
Oh, jumping over... All right.
Yeah.
Stunt bike.
Stunt. Not bike, though.
Oh.
Just simply by your own human power, leaping over camels.
What?
The record is 6.
No.
One human being can run up and leap over 6 dromedaries.
With a trampoline or something?
No, there's a small amount of dirt laid up as a kind of jumping off point, but no trampoline.
Is there a bicycle pump involved?
No bicycle, no bicycle pump. I mean, Yemen has some of the world's severest water shortages. It's got a 50th of the average of the world's water supply. Despite the fact that they have so little water, 40% of the water they have is spent on cultivating
Golf
what?
courses.
No, they don't have that in Yemen, no. Something that they are addicted to.
Coffee, tea.
Something they chew.
Oh,
Chewing gum.
Cat. Cat is the right answer.
Yes.
Cat.
Cat.
There it is. Cat. You can see it behind you.
Not cats, but cat.
Cat is a herb. It's a slight stimulant. It's not like cane or speed or anything like that. It's not like an amphetamine. It's more like an espresso.
Well...
It gives you a kind of buzz.
Yeah, it's like an aero.
It's about a third of the economic activity of the Yemen.
No
put
wonder
into
they're
one
doing so
country
well.
Goes into cat.
Don't they have cat houses in London, don't they? Where people actually go around and chew it. They sit, like the Yemeni blokes just sit around just for days on end.
And the older men get huge pouchy cheeks because they fill it so much of it.
Oh, I know where I'm going for my holidays.
All right. OK. So, while we're there, what did the environmentalists say to the camel?
Stop farting. They produce a lot of methane.
Yes, they do. Where in particular?
Out their arse.
No, there's a particular place where camels are
known for
extremely numerous.
Egypt.
Yes, but this is a place
Oh, no,
where...
Australia. Is it Australia?
Australia.
We've got more wild camels in Australia than anywhere else on the planet.
Exactly. They have the highest number of feral camels. In fact, they have 1.2 million of them.
I like rats. They're vermin.
Yeah.
They get in your house.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
you can
nightmare.
see this. Only that sign
traps
could be
down
Australia, couldn't it? Look at it. Camel, wombat, kangaroo. But the fact is, they export them to Arabia for meat
right, they
and
do,
for
yes.
racing.
Because they're a finer sort of species of
They were brought over originally as a pack animal to Australia. They seemed very natural because Australia's a dry country and camels survive well, obviously, in dry climates. People thought perfect, but of course they bred and they bred and they bred, and suddenly you've got these 1.2 million camels.
Yeah.
And they do an enormous amount of anal wind expulsion.
they were on at download. Actually.
Yeah. 45... It's actually...
They supported no catch-up manoeuvres in the dark.
To be fair to them, it's not so much anal as oral. It's 45 kilograms of methane a year.
Oh, God, you wouldn't want to stick one of them in a river, would
No.
you? You'd put it in like a speedboat, wouldn't you? I've shot a camel.
It's the equivalent of a metric ton of CO2 in its impact on global warming. It's quite extraordinary. It's a sixth the amount of the average car. So now there's a company called Northwest Carbon, which has set up a thing where you offset your carbon footprint, if you're an Australian car driver, by paying this company to go and shoot camels. Which is basically a bit unfair because, let's face it, Europeans with cars are as unnatural to Australia as camels are. And it seems a bit unfair. Why shouldn't the camels shoot the humans?
Yes.
Here's the thing, though. While we're talking about all this whole business of ecology, Sainsbury's, the supermarket chain, very useful supermarket chain. The great thing about Sainsbury's is it keeps the scum out of Waitrose. All right, here's an initiative announced by Sainsbury's.
Go on.
By reducing the diameter of the tube of a loo roll from 123 millimetres to 112 millimetres, right? Just 11 millimetre reduction. They will be able to fit more rolls into the same lorry. Given the scale of the loo roll market, we use 45 to 50 rolls a year each. And that's including you.
I do that over weekend.
Yes, all right. This will mean 500 fewer lorry trips a year just by doing that, by reducing the centre tube by 11 millimetres.
Well, this is the principal difference between men and women, in my view, is the amount of loo roll that women use is unbelievable. I mean, a roll could go in one visit.
To be fair, though,
Wrapping it round.